Hi, my name is Reva Siebold, and today I'd like to talk about our favorite thoughts. In my experience, each emotion has a set of thoughts that are attached to it. We each have our own personal, some are kind of universal, like fear often has a financial aspect to it. Anger has often a they did me wrong aspect to it. Um, Joy has a feeling of love and all is well with it. So why is this important? I'm sure you've noticed with your loved ones or people you spend a lot of time with that certain states of mind, certain emotions bring up certain thoughts. And in that state of mind or in that thought, your friend or yourself are convinced that they're true. So, for example, often on Wednesdays, I'm very tired because I have a very long Tuesday. And there are a set of thoughts that come up every Wednesday. And I've begun to realize they're just because I'm tired. And I'm often very angry on Wednesdays. And it's just because I'm tired. In AA, they talk about hungry, angry, lonely, tired, halt. If you begin to make friends with those thoughts that are attached to a state of being or an emotion, they don't have to overwhelm you so much because they're just the thoughts that are attached to that energy field called tired or called angry or called lonely or called fear. And they, as real as they feel and as true as they feel, they only are true when you're in that energy field. If you step out of the energy field, they no longer hold their truth or their power. So by recognizing, man, I've heard that again, you can trace your way back to the emotion and release the emotion. You can always release the thought too, but I have usually found that by releasing the emotion, those set of thoughts get weaker. They don't always go away, but they just don't feel true the same way. And I also notice that often when you're in emotion, take loneliness or any of the emotions we've worked with, you get really into what's sometimes called trauma trance or emotion trance. We'll call it that, where you tell the story over and over and over again and dig the story deeper into your being. And the story's not even true, and you don't even feel it when you're out of the emotion. So take a moment and think of some of your favorite stories. Loneliness, when you're lonely, fear, financial, and just pick an emotion in a story. And just notice how, when you're not in the emotion, the story's just a story. Half the time, it's not even true. So let's take fear. So think of something that you're afraid of. Oh, that's the other way you can get into it. If you think of something you're afraid of and you slide into fear, that's a way to get into fear too, or whatever emotion. So just think of being afraid and what you're afraid of. So the first one that came up for me, I'm afraid I'm going to die. Well, of course I'm going to die. And so I can laugh, and it doesn't have the same kind of power. Next one that comes up is I don't have enough money. Well, that's always one that comes up with fear for most of us. So just open to your favorite story that comes up with fear. Favorite in the sense that you may not like it, but it shows up a lot. So open to that story around fear and just notice how familiar it feels. all the intricacies of it, how powerful it feels, how real it feels. And could you let go of your attachment to that story? Would you let go of your attachment to that story? And when? Then go to the fear. And just open to that fear. Just allow it to feel what it feels like in your body. Does it have a contracting, expanding, cold, warm? Just open to that fear. And then could you just allow the fear to be there? There you go. And could it be released? Could it move? And would it, you allow it to move? And when? So just check in on how you're feeling right now. And you could stop the video and keep going on with fear and go through your favorite fear thoughts, fear pictures, fear stories. And then when you feel complete, start the video again, and we'll take another emotion. So how about anger? Think about something or someone or some experience that you're angry with. And just allow the story, the thought, the feeling to develop. Jump into it. Get really into being righteously angry. Here you go. And could you let go of your attachment to that story, that anger story? Would you? And when? As the attachment lessens, you can look at the angry story and see it's just a story or it's not even true or whatever, or even laugh at the ridiculousness of it. So could you pick again something you're angry about? Could be the same, could be different. There you go. And could you let it go? Could you let go of your attachment to that story? And would you? And when? Could you open to the anger that's still here? And could that be released? There you go. Is it releasing? And when? And again, you can stop the video here and just keep following it for as long as you want, for as depth as you want, for anger. One thought about anger is it's often they're wrong and I'm right. So you can explore the rightness that you're feeling and their wrongness, because they may in fact be right or wrong, but just explore what's underneath that. What does right mean and what does wrong mean? Have fun with it. So you can do this with loneliness, sadness, anything that, any emotion, and just explore the belief and explore the thought and the story and explore what's underneath it and see where it takes you. You can also do this to the more what we call positive emotions. Often we won't let ourselves go higher because we're afraid, and we have stories that like, Oh, if I get any happier than this, it'll go away. We have limiting stories. So think of any limiting stories you have for your feeling joyful or happy or courageous or peaceful, any of that, and open to that story. Just notice how familiar it feels and what a limit it is, what a downer it is. And could you let go of your attachment to that belief, that story, that thought? Would you? And when? And could you open to the possibility that there's no limit to joy, both in scale and in time, that there's no limit? That yes, life changes and emotions change and there's always change, but there's no built-in limit that you're not allowed to go have more of that deliciousness. So could you open to the possibility that there is no limit to the deliciousness of that emotion? Would you? And when? Just feel any expansion. And again, you can keep doing this whenever you're feeling joyful and feel like you've got to shut it down in some way. You can let go of that limit and go for more. So have a good time exploring those beliefs that come up all the time that keep you in negative emotions or limit your positive emotions, and have fun. Thank you.